I'm Sarah Thompson, and my life with my son James took a turn I never saw coming. What happens when a mother's love crosses lines you never imagined? How far would you go to protect your child, even from themselves? Stay with me. This story will grip you, shock you, and make you question everything. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. I'm Sarah Thompson, 43 years in this world. My life may seem unconventional, but I've embraced it fully. 10 years ago, if you had said my life would turn out like this, I would have laughed, thinking it was a cruel joke. I never would have believed you, not yet. Here I sit, alone at my kitchen table, a quiet morning enveloping me. My gaze lingers on a half-empty cup of coffee, thoughts swirling like shadows. I'm unraveling the last decade, desperate for meaning in the chaos, but it slips through my fingers. For 8 long years, it's been only James and me. Since the divorce, we've faced life together, as if the universe conspired against us. We recall the moment it started, the day his father left. James Carter, just 11 years old then. Not a single tear fell before me. He never shows it, yet I could sense it in the way he held himself. His gaze lingered out the window, a silent plea for a father who would never return, hope battling with the weight of reality. Each day, he waited. Each day, I witnessed the crushing weight of disappointment etched deeper into his expression as his father remained absent. That day, when his father walked away, I vowed to never forget. I vowed in that moment to ensure James would never feel again. In his solitude, I would be his unwavering anchor, ensuring he knew the warmth and safety of belonging. Just us, yet that promise has shaped every step I've taken since. Even in the darkest moments, I push forward. It's been a struggle, but I strive to build James a foundation of love and support he can rely on. Despite everything the world hurled my way, I truly thought I was holding it all together. James was a kind soul, while Ethan, ever silent, sought every chance to lend a hand at home. He had a softness that set him apart, a quiet strength that drew you in, even among the other children. As he aged, everything began to change. He began to transform in ways I couldn't understand, and if I'm truly honest, I felt myself shifting as well. This year, James turned 19, a momentous milestone for us both. He's grown, yet in my heart, I sense he's still teetering on the brink of manhood. The shift is anything but obvious. I can see his struggle. It's palpable. He's always held back, a quiet storm beneath the surface. From a young age, he felt no urge to be surrounded by others. He never craved the chaotic, loud interactions that consumed his peers. He stays in, finding solace in the stillness of his own space. He lacks close friends, not in the way one might expect from a young man. I reached out to him, desperate to uncover the truth behind his silence. In moments of loneliness, he felt adrift. Each time I mention it, he shrugs, brushing off my worries with a nonchalant, "I'm fine." But I see through him. He's not fine at all. A mother feels the truth, even when her child attempts to sway her. A month ago, James entrusted me with an unexpected revelation that shook me to my core. A shocking revelation that caught me completely off guard. Late evening, just us in the living room. Then he opened up, revealing depths I never knew existed. He confessed to using my belongings. First, my underwear. My mind was a whirlwind of uncertainty. His words left me in a haze of confusion. Confusion engulfed me. When it struck me, when I grasped the full weight of his words, it felt as if the ground had vanished beneath my feet. My heart pounded. My breath hitched. A sudden weight in my chest. I wanted to scream, desperate to uncover the chaos swirling in his mind. What led him to believe that was acceptable? Yet I didn't. I remained frozen in place, stuck, heart racing, eyes locked on him. In that instant, he seemed so fragile, consumed by shame. His eyes fell, consumed by a profound embarrassment, steering clear of danger. He slumped, and my heart twisted for him. The boy, once eager to help, now shrouded in silence. Kindness sat there, weighed down by an unseen heaviness that eluded my understanding. In that fleeting moment, a deep truth struck me. This was more than his actions. It was never about the actions. The shock, the anger, it ran deeper than I realized. Everything. He could never find the words. A surge of emotion coursed through him, a truth that remained trapped in silence. It was a battle he fought within himself. His turmoil, his isolation, and his terror. All I could do was sit there, watching him grapple with not just the facts, but the heavy, unspoken pain he bore. A burden he had yet to learn to voice. He was neither a pervert nor a monster. My son was in pain, fighting his battles alone, overwhelmed by emotions. He felt the urgency, yet comprehension eluded him. He lost all control. I couldn't bear to deepen his pain any further. He chose. I struck a deal with him. I gave him the freedom to choose his path. Yet rules would bind us. He found a moment of release, yet he chose to do it right before my eyes. I needed to ensure his safety. He had drawn the final line. I demanded the freedom to bring anyone into the house, no questions, no judgments. It was far from ideal. Yet it was the only thought that pierced through the chaos at that moment. Everything changed after that. James appears at ease now, calmer now. Ethan speaks little, yet he stays close, just like before. And I've come to see that this isn't solely for him. It's mine as well. Finally, the liberation I've longed for has arrived, living freely, unshackled from the need to walk on eggshells around him. In the stillness of night, doubt creeps in. Did I choose wisely? What would they say if they found out? Would they see me as a bad mother, a failure? Perhaps they would. Yet, they remain oblivious. James, they can't fathom the agony of watching your child suffer, powerless to mend their pain. They have no idea what it's like to cling to the fraying edges of sanity, struggling to hold it together. The future for us is a mystery. I'm unsure if this setup can last, or if it's a bomb, just waiting to explode. Yet, this is our existence. This is our choice. Amid the chaos, I'm fighting for us, giving everything I have for him. If you're here, show some love for this video. We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more captivating tales. Believe me, the depths are far greater than you can imagine. I never intended for this to happen. I never saw it coming. Finished. It happened in an instant. In that fleeting moment, I sat, grappling with the weight of James's words, unsure how to bridge the chasm between us. Words erupted from my lips, wild and untamed. I'll let you continue, I warned, but I expect something back. His gaze pierced through me, as if I had uttered words from a distant world. His face drained of color, fists tightening on the kitchen table for a fleeting moment. I feared he would rise and leave me behind. Perhaps I longed for him to. Perhaps I wished for a refusal. He'd call me insane and then leave in a fury. Yet he chose not to. He sat, eyes locked on mine, unblinking. His mouth moved, a silent struggle for words. "What are you saying?" he asked, his voice trembling, barely above a whisper, as if he feared the truth lurking in the response. I inhaled sharply. "Go ahead, but only if I'm watching." In exchange, I seize my life on my own terms. I can invite others in, and you won't utter a word. Just acceptance, pure and simple. We both find our desires fulfilled. All right? The silence stretched on, heavy and suffocating. James remained silent. His gaze pierced through me. His brow tightened, lips sealed in silence, into a razor's edge. His struggle to grasp my words was palpable, struggling to find clarity. I was alive. Nothing changes. The words lingered, suspended between us, and I knew they were irrevocable. I wasn't certain I even wanted to. At last, he gave the slightest nod, just enough to feel. All right. His voice pierced through the silence, silken whispers. The sound barely reached me. If that's truly your desire. And that was all. It was settled. It happened for the first time. Nausea gripped me, threatening to spill over. I perched on the bed's edge, heart racing, palms slick with sweat. I convinced myself it was for his sake, that this was the only way, better than the darkness that awaited us. Yet beneath it all, I understood it was far more complicated. It never is. James entered the room, his gaze fixed on the ground. Silence hung heavy between us. Neither of us spoke. Our eyes never met. No, really, just sat there, acting like it wasn't real, as if it were just another ordinary day. And when it ended, he was gone. Silence speaks volumes. I remained frozen, time slipping away around me. I sat frozen, eyes locked on the wall, battling the storm inside, desperate to believe it was all okay. This was enough. It's unsettling. What you adapt to initially hits like a gut punch every time. Yet as time passed, it became more bearable. Or perhaps I simply mastered the art of feigning indifference. I convinced myself it was harmless, merely an alternative. I convinced myself it was all about practicality. I was turning despair into determination, and for a moment, I truly believed it. James, however, was a tale of its own. Hatred masked by a facade of normalcy. Yet it was clear in his gaze. Shame consumes. Guilt suffocates. It lingered in silence, unspoken yet heavy. Yet I could see the self-loathing in his eyes for relying on me, for craving this connection. Each time I glimpsed that expression, my heart shattered just a bit more. What was I meant to do? He was my son, my everything. Turning my back on him was not an option. I couldn't stand by and watch him drown in his own feelings. I followed my usual path. I masked my fears and forged ahead for him. With James, uncertainty gnaws at me. Am I making the right choice? Some days, I can't even grasp what the right choice is anymore. This is our reality, the life we've forged. For now, this is all there is. It must be enough. Initially, it felt familiar. James clung to the ritual, if it could be called that at all. Just once in the morning light. Occasionally, in the twilight hours. Unforeseen, yet within reach. I convinced myself it was temporary, that he would eventually lose interest. I thought it would fade when the excitement did, but I was mistaken. Rather than easing, it surged forward, gaining momentum with each passing moment. Morning faded into afternoon, then surrendered to night. 2 mornings in a row. I began to see just how fast it all unfolded. The hours twisted and turned, consumed by an unrelenting cycle. This setup left little room for normalcy. Moments slip away, when the air in the house felt empty, burdened by our pact. I fought to bury it deep within, but it clawed its way back to the surface. It was ever present, a haunting shadow that refused to fade. Initially, a wave of unease washed over me. As I folded the laundry, a wave of memories washed over me. James entered, silence heavy in the air. His expression was tight, his body language rigid. I sensed his desire before a word escaped his lips. Anything I lay the clothes on, satin edges whispering secrets. The couch lingered, a silent witness to his struggle. Yet everything had changed. This time, he stayed long after the end. He stood there, eyes locked on mine, as if words hung heavy in the air between us. Words eluded me. I clutched my stomach. The weight of the moment crushes me, heavy as a stone. "Are you all right?" I whispered, my voice trembling with vulnerability. He nodded, but his eyes betrayed him. This had become something deeper, something raw. It was beyond anything else. Sleep eluded me that night. I lay there, fixated on the ceiling, the day's events haunting me relentlessly. I tried to silence the doubts, convincing myself it was all in my head. Yet, in the depths of my soul, I understood the truth. This was his lifeline. No longer. He was beginning to crave it. Something he was starting to rely on. Terrifying. I didn't know how to end it. In the days that followed, James changed drastically. He let it all spill out. No more waiting for perfect moments. He seemed utterly indifferent to boundaries. No longer, as if our agreement granted him the freedom to act without restraint. At his command. Perhaps it truly was. I had offered him. Hadn't I earned this freedom? It was the moment I dared to tease him. It happened in an instant. The kitchen was alive with the scent of dinner when he stepped inside. His gaze pierced through me, tracking my every move. I can't explain my actions. Perhaps I craved to shatter the silence. Perhaps I was pushing him, measuring his limits. I shed my jacket, letting it drop onto the counter without a second thought. His breath caught, and I spun to meet his gaze. A fleeting smile danced at the edge of my lips. "Is something bothering you?" I pleaded, feigning ignorance. See how his cheeks burned with color. Silence hung heavy in the air. He spun on his heel and walked away. Silence hanging heavy in the air. The weight of his gaze clung to me, haunting the silence long after he disappeared. Then, it turned into a fierce battle. I'd gather my hair tightly, allow my shirt to lift, just a whisper, just a bit too high. Let my jeans hang unbuttoned, just a moment too long. No words could capture it, just a hint, enough to twist his insides, to push him. Pause. As it turned away, a rush of power surged through me. A surge of power coursed through me, a feeling I had long forgotten, and I loathed how much I craved it. Yet with each day that goes by, the distance between us fades further. He began to hunt for me, more frequently, searching for reasons to exist. He was close, even when it wasn't necessary, and I loved him. I convinced myself it was innocent. It was all for nothing. But deep down, I had lost all sense of its meaning. Doubt consumed me entirely. A moment lingered, heavy and charged. One fateful evening, when it finally arrived. James sat across from me in the living room, tension thick in the air. His gaze locked onto mine. I devoured a book. Thick tension hung in the air, unspoken yet palpable. The kind that sent shivers down your spine and quickened your heartbeat. My gaze met his, locking eyes for the first time. I couldn't tear my gaze away. He didn't either. Charleston loomed, a chasm separating us. It weighed on me, stifling, until I found my voice and rose. "I'm heading to bed now," I spoke, my voice barely a whisper. He nodded. His gaze pierced through me. I turned and left. I can't fathom how we ended up here. I can't believe it has come to this. Yet, here we remain, trapped in an endless loop. I'm lost in the struggle to let go, even though I crave the illusion of control. I feel the weight of defeat closing in on me. It was only when Michael arrived, David burst into our lives. It all started with a simple introduction, one you'd never expect to change everything. Yet Michael was no ordinary man. He was effortlessly charming, a smile that seemed to come without effort, yet it lingered in your mind. His laugh enveloped the room, warm and disarming, lifting my spirits effortlessly. For the first time in years, I felt the walls around my heart begin to crumble as Michael came over more often. It began simply: dinner, a drink on the back porch. But soon he found himself lingering in the living room long after James had retreated to his room. And then one night, he stayed forever. I faced it head on with James. That was never in our agreement, was it? The look on his face the next morning, when he saw Michael in the kitchen, was impossible to ignore. Table cradled a coffee cup, as if time had no hold on him. I sensed it instantly. The tightness in his jaw spoke volumes. His hands gripped the plate, tension radiating from every finger, almost unbearable. James fell silent, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. He stood at the edge, watching, lost in gloom. As the weeks passed, Michael's frequent presence in our home transformed his silence into a piercing tension. He began to lash out at me over the smallest details. Lost tasks linger in the shadows. Mismatched socks. A small irritation that lingers. It felt as if they had a pulse, a heartbeat, a will of their own. I attempted to dismiss it, convincing myself it was merely his method of coping. Yet deep down, I sensed the resentment festering between us, dense and weighty. A tempest poised to unleash at dusk. Michael and I sat on the couch, laughter bubbling between us. James stumbled into the room, a whirlwind of chaos and laughter. Silence hung heavy in the air. Staring at us, his expression was a puzzle I couldn't solve. In that fleeting moment, our eyes locked, and I felt it all. The pain, the fury. Weeks of confusion erupted the moment he spoke. His voice quivered, barely above a whisper. "Do you still care at all?" His words sliced through the silence, sharp and unforgiving. Michael's eyes widened in shock as he stared at me. Yet my gaze remained fixed on James. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice unwavering. My heart raced wildly. He moved in, heart racing. His fist tightened, a storm brewing within. "You never cared at all. Who are we, really? This is what we've become." The room vanished, quiet yet heavy with meaning. Michael hesitated, fear gripping his heart. I rose, each movement deliberate and heavy. My chest constricted as I scanned James's face, desperate for answers. "James, that can't be right," I whispered. "I care about you, and it matters deeply to me." His voice cut through the silence, ascending rawly. "None of this. Is this for me? You allowed him to stroll into our world as if it meant nothing at all. You laugh with him, and I feel invisible." The air vanished from my lungs. His words struck me with an unexpected force. "James," I said, touching the void between us. Yet he withdrew first. My fingers brushed against him. "I had no idea. You felt this way," I said. "Naturally, you didn't." He spoke, with a sharp sting. "Your freedom consumes you, doesn't it? You believe this is. Do you even notice me now? Am I merely a convenience?" The silence that ensued was overwhelming. Michael squirmed on the couch, whispering about needing space, then vanished through the door. I hardly registered it. My son stood before me, trembling, raw with emotion. I had pushed aside the memory of that night when James fled to his room. Alone in the living room, I fixated on the empty coffee cup Michael had abandoned. His words echoed relentlessly in my mind, each one slicing deeper, leaving a mark that lingers. He was undeniably right. He slipped from my mind, a shadow fading into the past. No trees left. I was lost in the illusion, desperately trying to believe that all was well. I never considered the impact it had on him. For the first time in ages, the gravity of my choices crashed down on me. The deal sealing my fate. With James, we forged boundaries, crossing lines, blurring the edges of everything we knew. It had become bigger than us. It was about who we were turning into and the scars we were leaving behind. Sleep eluded me that night, sat frozen, eyes locked on the door, desperate for a glimmer of hope to mend this shattered moment. Or had the moment passed forever? The morning after our fight, silence hung heavily in the air. James remained locked away in his room. The door shut, and the air thickened with unspoken tension. I sat at the kitchen table, lost in the depths of my coffee. Steam twisted upward, a haunting mist. I could no longer push it away. It consumed my mind. I had to act. Fine. This was everything. What we shared transformed everything between us. It couldn't continue like this. Never meant for him. Not my path. I knocked later that afternoon, at his threshold. Silence hung heavy in the air. I waited, my forehead pressed against the wooden frame. James, just this once. I have something important to share, I whispered gently. At last, the door groaned ajar, revealing him in the shadows. His expression was a fortress, eyes shadowed by fatigue. I'm so sorry, I said. My voice quivered. For it all, for failing to recognize the depth of your pain, for allowing it to go this far. I was mistaken. His expression remained hard, unyielding, yet he moved away, to allow me inside. I perched on the bed's edge, his figure a tense silhouette against the wall, arms tightly crossed. Help us. I confessed to our shared truth. I can't keep up this charade. It's over. I'm in control, but I can't let us spiral further down. This path is littered with my countless mistakes. I need to make it right. If you'll allow it. James remained silent at first. He simply nodded, his eyes speaking volumes. Days later, the floor lay in disarray. In a cramped office, we faced Daniel Martinez, an online family therapist I discovered. Daniel was a gentle soul, his calm, steady presence wrapped around you, offering solace even in silence. Initially, neither of us acknowledged it. We sat in silence, burdened by the weight of our story. Words failed to capture it all. Daniel pierced the silence, his questions gentle yet profound, never crossing the line into intrusion, yet like whispers of longing. James started to reveal his true self. He spoke of the crushing loneliness that had haunted him since the divorce, his turmoil over our pact, and the emotions swelling within him. I listened, tears streaming down my cheeks, as I listened to him speak. To emotions I buried deep within, in the weeks after therapy. It wove itself into the fabric of our days. It was a struggle. Some days we walked out of the office feeling emptier than when we stepped in. Moments linger. It challenged. If only we were truly advancing. Slowly, the barriers that separated us started to crumble. Daniel defined our limits. True limits. I finally told James our deal was done. A grave error. We had to begin anew. It has fought to find its footing. In fleeting seconds, I saw him pull away, to the ghosts of the past. His frustration erupted, teetering on the edge of anger or tears. With Daniel's guidance, we discovered new, healthier ways to endure. James began to journal, an unexpected twist. He sought solace, joining a local martial arts class where his emotions found their release. Gradually, I witnessed his transformation. He rose, defiance in his stance, spoke with newfound confidence, and started to immerse in the world outside, forging bonds that felt free and unbound. The toughest battle was confronting my own reflection, confronting my true self. Healing made me face the choices I had made, how my fears and insecurities twisted my bond with James. I clung to him, desperate and lost. To fill the void of our divorce, I failed to see how it was choking us both. Releasing that grip, he discovered the strength to stand alone, a fragile yet powerful realization. It was one of the toughest battles I've ever faced. Months after our first therapy, James and I sat on the porch, the sun sinking low, casting shadows that whispered secrets of the past. He glanced my way, his voice thick with gratitude. "Thanks, Mom, for everything." It was small, yet powerful. I reached over and squeezed his hand, a simple gesture that said everything. Silence speaks louder than any voice. We're still searching for answers. Healing twists and turns, a jagged path of pain and hope. It's chaotic and fraught with challenges, yet for the first time in ages, I sense a flicker of hope. James is discovering his path. I am too. Though the shadows of our past linger, we are discovering the strength to forge ahead, united. Life offers no guide. If I had done it, I would have discarded mine ages ago. James and I have faced challenges beyond my wildest dreams. Yet against all odds, we endure. We fight on. Learning the house feels transformed, almost weightless now. Perhaps a deep calm arises when we realize we are truly striving for something greater. James stands tall now. He's out with friends more often now, devoting more time to his passions. When we finally meet, it's as if we're two souls, free from the tangled web of confusion that once bound us. Our moments linger on. Healing isn't flawless, but I've moved forward. I've confronted my own reflection. Forgiving my own mistakes has been a painful journey. To release the guilt that burdened me for ages, I had to embrace the truth. I can't always mend what's broken. Sometimes the greatest act of love is to step back, allowing them to find their own way. It's been a struggle, yet I stand proud of how far we've come. More than mother and son, we are two souls navigating the fragile dance of respect and trust. Once more, I've learned that boundaries are everything. The true ones are. They're lifelines. These are gestures of deep affection. Embrace the love that surrounds you and cherish the love within. They shield what you cherish, yet leave space for evolution, to grasp the essence, to feel alive. I've discovered that accountability holds equal weight to forgiveness. Admitting you're wrong can be the toughest battle, yet it brings an unparalleled sense of liberation to those who hear it. I need to express this. Your mistakes are not your identity. Your actions shape your identity. After you rise from the fall, confronting those you've wounded. Moving forward, growth isn't about perfection. It's about embracing transformation, even when it terrifies you, even through the pain. James and I are in a constant dance of discovery, and I sense that will never change. That's simply how it is. Yet, it was the first time. For the first time in ages, it feels like we're finally stable. We're creating something powerful, improved. a better choice. Thanks for watching this story on Addy's Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.